our goal is also to promote all our teachers, and our main reference is DepEd Order 24 series of 2025. And again, we're going to cross-reference this to DepEd Order 34 series of 2025. Right, so we might be referring to all these documents. So for all those who are interested in getting promoted, let's say for example, you are now from Teacher 3 to Teacher 6, Teacher 5. If you wish to get promoted to Master Teachers, although there are natural vacancies that you can apply to, and that is governed by DepEd Order 20 series of 2024, but the guidelines are more or less the same. The only difference siguro is how we go about when we do natural vacancy. Natural vacancy is not governed by DO 34 anymore. The transitory provisions under DO 34 does not govern, right? So here we will discuss DepEd Order 24 series of 2025, and we need to discuss this from the start. The same way with the principal, our main goal is to disseminate the vacancy through the official memorandum. So you always tell your teachers being promoted under the ACP is different from natural vacancy, but the guidelines are more or less the same. How we are rated is more or less the same. It's just that there is a difference with the DepEd order that governs it. Now, it all starts with the SDS, again, issuing an official memorandum, just like for principals, calling for applications for reclassification for teaching positions not later than June 30 of the current year. So, but subsequent calls for application may be done within the year subject to the availability of funds. So, there could be an estimated number of slots for reclassification per position and shall be determined by the SDS upon the recommendation of the HRMPSB based on the following parameters. First, the available budget allotment for the current fiscal year. So, we are going to consider that. Magkano po yung binigay na budget for that particular fiscal year? Second is the priority position based on teacher needs analysis. So, of course, we're going to look at this because when you do teacher needs analysis, you have to integrate the new planning standards or the staffing standards provided by DBM and a DepEd Joint Circular number 1, which involves the staffing patterns. So for every 5 teachers, as long as they are teaching the same subject, but basically as much as possible it should be the same major, but there is already a provision in the FAQs issued by the BHROD through an office memorandum stating na it is not necessary that they have the same major. What is necessary is that they have the same and they are teaching the same subject matter as duly reflected in their workload, or that is called the teaching load. Okay, so as long as it's reflected there, then of course you will be given the opportunity to have, and you will be entitled to 1 master teacher, 1:5. It even goes to 1:3 for far-flung areas, for areas hard to reach, and of course we have applicable staffing standards and ratios for master teacher position. This should be considered. Teacher needs analysis, by the way, also pertains to things relating to the needs. No, meron kasing out-of-field teachers. So when you say out-of-field teachers, these are teachers which have a different major but they're teaching that particular subject. So for example, I am a science major but I'm teaching Araling Panlipunan, which is sometimes not really that related. So basically that teacher is out of field. So you have to consider also the teacher needs analysis. Right. So all interested applicants for reclassification, dapat sila mag-submit, no, same term, no, it's called the reclassification form for teaching positions this time, and Annex B-1 to the respective HRMOs through the records unit. So they will go to the records unit, submit their reclassification form for teaching position through the records unit on or before the deadline indicated in the SDO memorandum or call for applications. Again, this is a very important aspect of our merit and selection plan, our MSP. All documents should be reflected should be submitted on or before the deadline, or documents submitted after the deadline will not be accepted. So we have to read, we have to understand the provisions because these are how we would want our teachers to get promoted. Here, we are going to use a tool to determine the appropriate classification of a position. So this is how it looks like. There is also a performance requirement provided, at least 6 here for teacher 2, at least 6 proficient classroom observable indicators at very satisfactory. It is duly given there. You are also going to indicate if you're rated outstanding or very satisfactory for that particular indicator. So why is this important? Because there is a provision written that if you don't meet the minimum requirements prior to that career stage, then you will not be able to get promoted to any of, even if you meet the number of classroom observable indicators and the non-classroom observable indicators. So we're going to talk about that later, but it's a little bit tricky because you have DepEd Order 34, which provides and relax a very important provision on DO 24, which states that you cannot promote those who have satisfactory rating. We'll reference that to DO 34, which says that as long as it is at least within 3 salary grades, you may not reach, own, or have the required number of very satisfactory rating. So, in short, kung meron kang 3 S, that's allowable and you will be asked to fill up the commitment form. So, that's a little bit tricky. So, we're going to look at the actual memorandum later on. So, DO 34 yan. Okay. So, the form reflects the applicant's attainment of the minimum qualifications to the position per the CSC approved qualification standards, performance, and comparative assessment results. So let's go to the next slide. So what are the documents that we need to submit? Very similar to what is required for us to be submitted. First, you're going to submit a letter of intent as addressed to the school's division superintendent, ano yung purpose, expression of interest, and the position applied for. And you are going also to fill up the PDS, of course, submit your PRC ID because you cannot be promoted if you don't have an updated PRC ID. Certificate of competency level issued by the body, and then if applicable lang po. So, next is yung photocopy ng ating TOR, transcript of records, meron tayong diploma, etc. And of course, you need to submit your duly signed service record. And next is the photocopy of your latest appointment because that's important. But remember, we will only rate based on what is deemed prior to that particular appointment is deemed used for that particular promotion. Okay? So, deemed used na po siya. So, yung afterwards lang, prospectively, are the ones that will be credited to your current rating, which we will do in the comparative assessment stage. Okay, so again, there are 2 stages. If you can remember, it's the initial evaluation stage and followed by the comparative assessment stage. Right, so next is the photocopy of certificates of completion for NIAP accredited professional development programs. So if meron kang mga training, we will be computing it per hour. Next is photocopy of Technical Education and Skills Development Authority. Meron kang NC2, NC3, the trainer's methodology certificate, so please attach that. Then photocopy of the required performance rating with at least very satisfactory rating. So you need to have at least very satisfactory rating, and in addition to that, you need to have the performance ratings also, the required performance rating. So we will discuss that later on, but you need to have and to fill that up. To attach it. The applicant shall submit at most 3 performance ratings depending on the performance requirements. So the latest performance rating shall cover 1 year complete performance rating in the current position. Next is you will have an omnibus sworn statement, and what is written in the certification is that everything you have attached is authentic and it is verified. So other documents as may be required by the HRMPSB, including but not limited to the portfolio of the assessment of identified PPST non-classroom observable indicators. There has been a clarification regarding this. Are you going to attach your portfolio? According to UC Cabral, you don't need to really attach your portfolio. You just have to determine what particular MOV you are supposed to attach to prove that particular non-classroom observable indicator. Especially now that under the DepEd Memorandum 89, Series of 2025, it states that you don't need to submit any portfolio at the end of the year. So there was a clarification regarding this one. But, you know, the safest really yung A to K are mandatory, yung I is optional. So yung I, it becomes optional. But always tell your teachers it's better to have those documents so that there will be no questions anymore. So you guide your teachers. In our page, Learning with Doc Levs, we always guide our teachers in order for them to reach that outstanding performance in their demonstration. So even if portfolio is not required, let them and encourage them to compile them in one. Any compilation that they can do, like put it in one place. But okay, so we notice some of our teachers are really spending just to lay out their portfolio, which is not necessary anymore. Okay, so what is necessary is meron lang MOVs, and the MOVs can also be documented using the performance monitoring and coaching form, which I also discuss in my page. No, so you can also backtrack and read about that, because I'm sure curriculum and teaching our teachers and mentoring them is a very important skill that a principal should know. So dapat, if you look at your job description, lahat ng principal should mentor their teachers, because principals considered the best teacher in the school. Their work should be around 80% instructional supervision and only 20% school administration, which includes financial management, implementing all the rules and regulations. But if you look at your role, your original job description is really to focus on instructional supervision. So we need to also be a master on this, even if we are already principals, or if you are a TIC. Try to visit our page regarding this. L here is basically optional, but I tell you, this is something that will affect the score in the final comparative assessment. So again, very clear po yung diagram natin. We are able to see the two main stages. So we have here the initial evaluation, and then we have here our comparative assessment. The red ones are the initial evaluation, which our main player is the HRMO. Honestly, kahit yung assistant superintendent, we are not involved here. We only let HRMO do their stuff. We want them to look at your qualification standards when they apply. This is the first stage. And again, our main document here is DepEd Order 19 series of 2025. So if I may share, DO 19 series of 2025. So I mentioned there, if you're following my page, I already mentioned there. So DO19 again is our reference. Tell your teachers that are under you, if you're a TIC, that this is where you can see all the qualification standards. I just want to point out a few important things. No? So for example, let's go to elementary and secondary level. How do you get promoted? So if you are just wishing to be, if you intend to be teacher 2, ano bang dapat nating gawin? Ilang years ba tayo dapat? No. So remember, in every item that you will have, there is always 1 year residency. That's the minimum required under the Ora-Ora. So you need to be there holding the position after 1 year. So let's say, for example, you are already promoted. There was one person who messaged me, one of the teachers in my page, and then he said he already was promoted a year ago. So after 1 year, teacher 2, and he plans to apply for the higher position. So can he do that? Of course, you can after 1 year. But if you are only recently promoted, you need to stay at least 1 year. So if you notice, from teacher 1 to teacher 2, it's always 1 year. Diba? 1 year. Here, for teacher 3, at least 2 years of teaching experience. So if naging teacher 3 kayo, of course, we will count also the 1 year experience from teacher 1 to teacher 2. So it's always 1 year. So before you become master teacher, like let's just go to master teacher 5. For those teacher 3, di ba usually exit natin is teacher 6. Why teacher 6? Because there is a quantum leap limitation. So if you are going to jump from 1 to be promoted, it should only be 3 at least. No, the maximum is only 3 salary grade. So if you are teacher 2 now, you can only be promoted to teacher 5 for one particular instance. So if you want to be promoted again, of course, you just have to wait for another year. Okay, so 3 lang yung steps. But again, there are exceptions to the quantum leap provisions. Like for example, if you wish to become school principal 1 after passing the principal's test, since school principal 1 is under a new track within our merit and selection plan could be justified in the DBM that it is an exception under the Ora-Ora. So let's go back to being a teacher, no? What kind of training are we going to give so that the teacher will be able to be promoted? So your training should be related to curriculum, pedagogy, subject, specialization acquired within the last 5 years. How about if I'm going to say, sir, what if the training is all about child bullying? Again, we apply the principle of exclusio onios ex exclusio alterios. So here, we see what is deemed not included is deemed excluded. It did not mention here child welfare. Training on child welfare. Wala naman dyan, di ba? So, it's not counted. Although, it will help you in your work as a teacher, but it doesn't help count for you to get promoted. So, that is why during our last inset, we aligned it here so that someday, when they want to get promoted, they can use the certificate. So, it says here 8 hours of training in any cumulative of the following curriculum. So, anything related to how you're going to teach and to deliver the whole experience of our educational system to the learners. Pedagogy, how you're going to teach. Then, subject specialization, it could be subject like science, math. So, about that. So, it's acquired within the last 5 years. And we want sure that the inset is something that they can use for their promotion. If you want to get promoted, if you notice, this is only 1 day lang. So, si teacher 2, 1 day lang. Entitled na siya. Yung teacher 3, of course, no? 2 days, 16. And then, still with teacher 4, same siya. Okay? Whether you are elementary or secondary. Then, teacher 5, to curriculum pedagogy pa rin. It didn't change. Okay? It's still the same. Curriculum, pedagogy, subject specialization. So, if you want to conduct training, your division office should align to that. So, notice also the education. Kasi, here, it's very easy to meet the experience requirement. Okay? Except lang for principal kasi merong instructional supervision, merong subject area coordination, merong learning area supervision, merong mga ganun. So, but you can always meet that if you are already TIC or if you are the subject area coordinator. The only requirement is that it should be signed by the superintendent. Okay? By virtue of DepEd Order 5, Series of 2024. But if you look at education, this is where we need to also inform our teachers. Because, as you can see here, it's very similar to what you have. Bachelor's degree in education. Tapos or means any, no? It could be the other one or it could be the second one. So, bachelor's degree in a relevant subject like bachelor's degree in science or learning area. So, it could be a relevant subject with at least 18 professional units of education. So, for example, you were having relevant subject like you're a nurse and then meron kang relevant subject or magiging relevant subject siya because it could be related to science, because if you're a nurse, many of the concepts there are related to science. So you need to have at least 18 professional units in education. Okay, so that's the requirement. Okay, if you have a bachelor's degree in relevant subject or learning area, so it should be relevant to the task that you're applying, the teaching position that you're applying. So here we see na it's very similar. Either bachelor's degree education, bachelor's degree in relevant subject or learning area. And this time, it is still 18 professional subjects. But if you look at the masters, okay, as you go down, it is very similar up to teacher 7. But for master teacher, kaya nga tinawag siyang master teacher kasi master's degree ang requirement. So, yung mnemonics natin na master teacher 1 requires master's degree in education or educational leadership or educational management. Did you notice this is very similar to your minimum qualification standards? But here, only master's degree in education, educational leadership, educational management, or relevant subject or learning area. But here, there are no units in management. Okay? Or lang siya. So therefore, if the teacher, the master teacher, has met any relevant subject, like let's say for example Masters of Science, that's not a Master of Education. Hindi rin siya Masters in Educational Leadership. hindi rin siya Masters in Educational Management. So if that's the case, then qualified na po siya for master teacher. So there was also one teacher who sent us a message. Sabi niya, he is teaching accounting and then he said that his master's degree is business management. Is that relevant subject or learning area? Of course no, diba? Relevant subject naman yun. So he was not given he was told na he was not qualified. I think that's relevant to that particular field, no? Relevant naman siya. Relevance means it is something that could be used, no? So if it's something that will help the teacher teach better, especially he is a science major, but as you can see here, what we are talking about here is elementary and secondary. Even that, as long as it's relevant to the position he's applying for, then it will be credited. The higher standard will be given for senior high, because as you can see here, for senior high, it is really explicitly stated ano yung pwedeng major, like this one. Bachelor's degree, yung dito sa academic parang general, diba? But for senior high, it says here, bachelor's degree with a major in the relevant strand or subject, or any bachelor's degree with at least 6 units towards master's degree in the relevant strand or subject. So if it's related to the strand or subject, of course, by all means, you have to credit that. There has been a lot of questions regarding vertical alignment. But if you look here, it says here, bachelor's degree with a major in relevant strand or subject plus 18 units in education, if it's a relevant subject, or a bachelor's degree with at least 6 units towards master's degree in the relevant strand or subject plus 18 units in the professional units in education. So is there vertical alignment here? Of course, you can see na it should be relevant strand. But when we reach the comparative assessment stage, kung saan you will face the committee already and you will be rating, whatever is beyond this doesn't have to be vertically aligned to your bachelor's degree. So that's where that particular concept comes in, that vertical alignment is not necessary anymore. So I'll give an example. Let's say, for example, you are a teacher 2 applying for teacher 2 academic track and core subjects. So what is required here? It should be relevant, no, to the track that you are teaching. Ang tanong dyan, let's say for example, you have a doctorate on, let's say for example, very different, like you are a doctor in science, but you are teaching on the strand for ABM, Accounting and Business Management. Are we going to count your doctorate degree? The answer is yes. You need to count that doctorate degree because vertical alignment is not necessary anymore for anything beyond the minimum qualification standard stated in DepEd Order 19. So kasi this is already beyond what is expected. So vertical alignment does not have to apply. Yan yung sagot sa question na yan. There has been a lot of confusion regarding that. I hope you see how important it is for us to finish our master's degree, especially if our teachers are aiming for master teacher, because as you can see here, master teacher for senior high, you need to have a master's degree relevant to the strand and subject. So as mentioned a while ago, there was a teacher teaching in the ABM strand, business management, right? He has a master's in business management. So do you think that is relevant to that particular strand? Oh, by all means, that's very relevant. The problem, he was denied. No, he was considered disqualified by the HRMO. Is your remedy if you are disqualified and you think that the decision is mistaken? Of course, you can write a letter. It's explicitly provided under the DepEd order that remedies you can question, but the whole process will still continue despite the filing of your concern, no, regarding the decision. So you can appeal this one to the HRMO, because the HRMO are the ones deciding whether you qualify to the minimum qualification standard. So I hope this is very clear, no? We have to master DepEd Order 19 talaga in all our aspects. So as you can see here, it's the HRMO. What if they failed to rate it properly? If you have teachers asking what are they going to do, again, you just read the DepEd order. It says there's a reglementary period before you can file an appeal. So after doing that, you will proceed to the comparative assessment. And of course, no, our favorite, we are going to rate based on our education, training, and experience. I have explicitly and step by step explained how you're going to rate your education, training, and experience, but we're going to revisit it today so that we will be able to remember it. And of course, we will rate your performance rating, which is this time, I think it's higher, it's 30 points, and then classroom observation, and then portfolio assessment. Did you notice na there is no application of education, outstanding accomplishment, and application of learning and development anymore? So, wala po yan sa mga teachers. Instead, we will ask them to check on the PTE, education, training, and experience. And then, we're going to check on their performance rating, the latest performance rating. And then, we're going to get their classroom observation. So, they will have to demonstrate their prowess in teaching. And we will ask them to annotate using the portfolio assessment and classroom observation. The initial evaluation of the qualifications of the applicant. So, what is checked here is your qualifications. So, upon receipt of the application and initial evaluation of the applicant's qualifications vis-a-vis the CSE approved qualification standards of the position applied for. So, anong gagawin ng HRMO? Mag-a-assess sila whether the applicants meet the minimum qualification in terms of, it's really explicitly stated here, education, experience, training, and eligibility. Now, tanong, are they going to determine if there is quantum leap or not? The answer is no. Okay, again, we apply the same principle, exclusio onios as exclusio alterios. So, that if the law does not provide, then you should not provide any. It's not your work to actually provide. It does not say there that you have to check on quantum leap. So, unfortunately, I received reports, a lot are messaging my page that they are saying that some of them are being asked and told not to continue because there is quantum leap. Okay, so we have to check on that, and we have to voice out our opinion on that, because that is not the proper way to do it. As mentioned here, you have to have, or only the HRMO is going to determine whether or not you met the requirements, the minimum requirements for education, training, experience, and eligibility. Our main reference, we have read this one, the O19 series of 2025. It's non-negotiable. Sorry to say, but without meeting the minimum qualification standards, you will not, your item or your appointment will not be approved by the CSC. That's the problem, really. You will not be able to go through the appointment process because the CSC will not approve. In fact, as you go through the ranking process, of course, your superintendent is going to give you the appointment. The next step is that we're going to submit that to the CSC for attestation. And once they find out that that person did not meet the minimum qualification standards, of course, they will rebuke the appointment. And that's the only power they have. The only power of the CSC is to check whether or not there was a meeting of the minimum qualification standards. As to quantum leap, it is the DBM which usually asks for justification. So before sending it to the final allocation for budget, especially for ECP, they have to check on the quantum leap, and it is us, the division office, who will justify whether or not why there is a necessity for that person and why that particular quantum leap, the occurrence of the quantum leap falls within the exception. Okay, because if you look at the provisions, yung quantum leap, there are exceptions under the ora-ora, and it is our task to determine and to justify that. So next stage is that you have to be familiar with this. I've already presented this to you a while ago, the actual memorandum. So there are just red things there that you have to take note ng kaibahan between teacher 1, teacher 2, teacher 3. I may colored it red, 8 hours dito, 16 hours, but basically it's the same education, diba? Here 16 naging 24. Tapos 3 years lang yung teaching experience para maging teacher 5. Kung 4 years ka na, pwede ka na sa SG16. So tingnan yung mga teachers nyo na overstaying na for one particular item. So to get teacher 7, which is salary grade 17, you have to have the same education. Hindi tayo kailangan mag-finish ng master's degree, ha, just to just to get teacher 7. There's no master's degree here. Enough na yung meron tayong 18 professional units for those who are having subject or learning area. Do you notice? Bachelor's degree in education. So what is needed is really 32 hours of training and then 4 years of teaching experience. The only limitation is that, why not, sir, teacher 3 po ako. Why not punta ako agad sa teacher 7? Pwede ba, sir? Can I do that? The answer is basically no. Why? Because it's clear that if it's more than 3, quantum leap. Pero again, if you are qualified, of course, you can do that. You will be qualified. But again, there will be problems with your application. But again, for school heads who has, or teachers who has passed the NASH and you are applying for principal 1 position, it is my position, my humble opinion, that you fall really to the exception. And plus, I think if you were listening to our discussion last time, those who pass the principal's test are priority for school administration track. Although what is stated there is that for those who were head teachers, automatic, meron na, if you fall within top 5, kayo yung dapat bibigyan ng item. On-stream candidates kayo, those who are affected. You have to pass the principal's test for now. That's one thing I really see that will help you. Considering meron lang budget, as long as it is justified, you will be able to get that item even if it is considered quantum leap, because school principal 1 is the entry level for the school administration track. Going through teacher 7 here, it's the same. So what will happen is it will be a clear provision. It doesn't fall on the exception. So if you have questions regarding this, please, you can ask questions so that we can have it. So, notice na yung master teacher, again, master's degree talaga lahat. And what is different from 1, going from master teacher 1 to 2 is I've colored it in red. So, meron kang NIAP, merong OR dito OR. So, OR is hindi ibig sabihin yung dalawa. Kahit isa lang. And then, 5 years teaching experience. Tapos sa 2, meron ka ng 1 year relevant experience in instructional supervision and technical assistance. Ano yung ibig sabihin yan? At least naging master teacher ka ng 1 year. Before you become master teacher 2, dapat you have become a master teacher for 1 year. Yan yung ibig sabihin ng 1 year relevant experience in instructional supervision and technical assistance to teachers. Kasi if you were not master teacher 1, you will not be able to do this unless you are at TIC in your requirement. So to become master teacher 3, you should be at least 2 years. That's the only difference. And then tumaas yung hours, then meron kang OR lang dito, di ba? So, NIAP Requisite Professional Development Program, pwede siya, but it's OR. Pwede ka may training in curriculum pedagogy subject specialization. Here, it becomes 3 years to be 4, master teacher 4. To be master teacher 5, you need to have 4 years experience being a master teacher. Imagine nyo, kapag naging 4 years na kayo sa career nyo as master teacher, automatic pwede na kayo maging master teacher 5, which is equivalent to the salary of a supervisor, salary grade 22. Okay, I hope that's clear for us. Paano natin ilalatag to our teachers so that they will be able to at least qualify for the position. So you have to teach them to do career planning, so that in the future they will be able to apply. So that is on the first stage, initial evaluation pa lang yan, red part. So when we proceed and we qualify, we go to comparative assessment. Again, we will rate your education, training experience, performance rating, classroom observation, and then your non-classroom observable indicator. There is an additional requirement. Kaya nga, this is also what I assailed, as to the guidelines. My personal opinion to So disclaimer, this is my own personal opinion. I am only a person, I can appreciate a DepEd order, but so I can also criticize it because CSE already provided for very specific qualification standards. But as I look at it, the Department of Education also provided for performance requirements for teaching position. So it's like an extension of the qualification standards, which is not their job. But if I wish to assail this, I need to go to court to question it. So as long as it has not been assailed and declared by court invalid, it will still be considered valid. Although I don't agree with it, it is not within our reach to actually not implement a particular DepEd order. So even if we don't like it, we have to still implement it. So I hope you get my point, diba? So it's like, it's an order and it's there, so you have to perform it. Anyway, it's not unlawful. It's just something that I don't personally agree. But the thing is, meron tayong tinatawag na performance requirements na additional. Okay? And dito na pumapasok yung tinatawag nating COI at NCOI, no? This one is for minimum qualification standards. So what happens here is that you're going to look back, ano yung mga non-classroom observable indicators for the last 3 years nyo. Usually, there are 37, total of 37 classroom observable indicators or COIs. Also, non-classroom observable indicators or NCOIs. And then, you have to ensure na you meet the minimum number of those, like NCOIs of or COIs that is at least 6 proficient ka dun, tapos very satisfactory ka. Okay? Because as we all know, teacher 2 and 3 are proficient. So you are 21 highly proficient COIs at outstanding. So ibig sabihin yung COIs mo are 6 doon are very satisfactory in order for you to become teacher 2. Then, meron kang at least 4 proficient in COIs at very satisfactory. So, let's try to analyze this table, ha? So, if you look at this one, yung applicants must have a rating of at least very satisfactory in the last rating period covering 1 year complete performance cycle in the current position. So, what will happen if S yung previous rating nyo? You will not be promoted. In order for you to satisfy, so aside from this requirement, minimum requirement na VS po kayo, they also said na you have to satisfy the set of performance requirements of the position applied for based at most 3 rating periods reckoned from the immediately preceding performance cycle complete. So, ano ibig sabihin? Di ba merong 3 backtrack ka? For example, if it's 2025, 2026, of course, you can say school year 2024, 2025, tapos meron pang 2023 to 2024, tapos meron ding 2022 to 2023. So those 3 rating periods reckoned from the immediately preceding performance cycle completed. So this is a total of more or less 37 indicators. So what is required is seen here. Okay? So if you're applying, let's say for example, very common kasi most of us are teacher 3 siguro, part of the ERF era. So teacher 3, we will go to teacher 6. So the requirement is out of the 37, meron kang 12 na outstanding for your classroom observable indicator. At 4, at least 4 NCOIs at very satisfactory and 4 proficient NCOIs at outstanding. So, you need to meet this requirement. Meron ka 4 na NCOIs at very satisfactory at 4 NCOIs at outstanding. Now, notice that there are stages here. Like, this is the career stage 1 and this is the career stage 2. Now, usual na tanong, because there's a provision there that says, if you don't meet the entry level requirement, you cannot be promoted to any higher of this. So, if you notice, yung teacher 4, this is the entry level to career stage 2. Kasi ito yung parang doorstep mo, di ba? In order for you to reach career stage 2. So, notice na yung teacher 2 dito, teacher 3, of course, 6 lang, no? Tapos 12 dito, it went higher. And then, if you try to add 21 plus 16, try nyo i-add, di ba? 21 plus 16 is equal to 37. So, in short, yung window natin for teacher 4, ang requirement niya kasi is lahat ng indicator mo is VS. I hope you're following, ha? So, there is a provision there in DO24 na in order for you, diba, this is the entry level. So, imagine there's a gate there here. So, for you to reach career stage 2, diba, dapat dadaan ka sa gate. Dito ka, dadaan ka. Before ka makakarating sa teacher 7, dapat buksan mo muna ang entry level. So, this is the entry level requirement. So, dito nagwala yung field kasi marami kasing kahit outstanding or very satisfactory yung overall rating nila, pero meron silang mga objective na S. Many were not able, even if qualified sila, they meet these requirements here. Did you notice it's 21 VS? But slowly, yung teacher 5, meron ng outstanding, no? So, it increased, naging outstanding na siya, yung 6. But if you're going to add 6 plus 4, it's not the whole thing, di ba? I hope you're following me because the total is really 37, which is 21 plus 16. Ang sinasabi sa doorstep is that yung lahat ng 37 indicators nyo na nandito, this is 37, ang lahat ng 37 na indicators nyo are always VS. But unfortunately, kahit maraming outstanding siya, but because nag-a-adjust, diba? Honestly, ang nangyari dyan, yung mga teachers naman, sila lang yung nag-rate. They were the ones who rated themselves and then hindi nila alam na ganito pala yung performance standards or performance requirements. So, ngayon, hindi na nila pwedeng baguhin yung grade nila kasi it will be a form of falsification of public documents and dishonesty. So, please do not change your bahala na yun. No? So, don't worry. At least meron pang maraming chance. So, in order for you to enter the stage, there is a provision in DepEd Order 24 na okay lang na kahit meron kang S as long as, ganito, yung pagpunta natin from, yung pag-jump natin, say for example, you are from teacher 3, pag-jump mo is only 3 salary grade. Ito lang. So, allowed siya, okay siya, you can fill up a commitment form kung meron kang S na 1, 2, or 3. Okay? Maximum of 3 lang. Okay? So, I read actually the issuance 34 series of 2025. I said to myself, saan ka makakahanap dito na 3 S lang ang limitation? So kasi 'di ba dapat before you become teacher 4, dapat all ng indicators mo is VS. Ngayon, meron kang isang S, di ka makakapasok sa career stage 2. So, they have removed this limitation when they issued DepEd Order 34 series of 2025. And what are the conditions? The first condition is dapat yung salary grade na pag-increase mo across all the career stages, ito career stages 2, 1, 2, 3, and saka 4, should be only limited to 3 salary grades. Like say for example, you are, example lang ha, if you are teacher 7, so you are teacher 7 dito. Lumagpas ka na from career stage 2, you will go to, can you go to master teacher 3? Okay, the answer is yes. Considering the transitory provision ha, kasi as you can see, this is only 3 steps. And when you look at the commitment form, ang sabi sa commitment form is limited lang siya to 3S. So, what if, sir, I have 4 yung S ko? So, can I be promoted? The answer is no. In order for you to download the commitment form, you have to search DO 34 series of 2025. It says here, during the 3-year transition period, the teachers who do not fully meet the performance requirements, like meron kang S for the position applied for, may still be considered for promotion whether natural vacancy or reclassification, an appointment within or across. So, yung ginawa natin, di ba? We went across career stages within the range of 3 salary grades. 3 lang. Provided that they meet the qualification standard. So, always remember, there is a condition na dapat ma-meet niya yung number of QS. Yung QS niya. So, this transitory exemption shall apply under the following conditions. Like, yung overall niya is very satisfactory pa rin. Generally, satisfactory yung performance niya. Master teachers affected by indicator conversion. So, that applies to them. And teachers with approved official leave of absence. So, it only applies to those. No? Okay? So, if for example, hindi niya na-meet yun pero yung total niya, VS naman. So, therefore, that exemption applies to that person. So, let's go to COIS and NCOIS. So, yung COIS and NCOIS that are mentioned here are those that are, there are 21 COIS and 16 NCOIS in the PPST. So, as you can see here. Okay? So, classroom observable indicators yung blue, tapos 16 na non-classroom observable indicators. So, you will have the initial evaluation results and it shall be posted at least 3 conspicuous places, concealing the applicant's personal information. Again, because of Data Privacy Act. The only information shall be made public are the application codes. So, yun yung makikita natin, yung ETE, tapos yung performance, and then the remark whether we are qualified or disqualified. Okay? So, you will be notified. So, dapat meron kayong ganito. Are you qualified or not? The results of the initial evaluation. So we will go to comparative assessment. By the way, again, you have the right to actually assail any decisions on this. In the DepEd order, you can see there the guidelines. No, within how many days can you file a complaint as to the decision and assail the decision of the HRMO regarding your disqualification or qualification. We go to comparative assessment, which is the most important part. No, wherein meron ng rating, meron ng counting of points. So as you can see here, yung PPST based performance naging 30 siya. So di ba sa inyo 25, dito mas malaki. Okay, 30 siya. That's why I always tell the teachers na mag-focus kayo sa demonstration nyo, because basically PPST based performance is your previous grade on your COT. So 30 points yan. Okay? Yung PPST quiz dito is your actual demonstration. So even if meron ka ng grade here, yung PPST quiz is basically your classroom demonstration. And then yung NCOIS naman is yung ability natin na mag-annotate and your performance in interview. So 15 points yan. This is for promotion, di ba? So, education training experience, I think we have discussed this one. 10 lang. Similar sa atin, di ba? But if you are a teacher 1 hiring, so iba yung points. As you can see, mas malaki po yung demonstration. Bakit walang performance? Kasi, di ba, experience is not required for them. So, experience is not required for them. Ang gagawin nating rating for performance is yung LET rating nila. So, either PBET, LET, or LET rating, magiging 10 points siya. Then, the demonstration will be 35, and then the NCOIS will be 25. So, what is our conclusion here? If you're a new teacher and if you wish someone na meron kayong mga anak na naging teacher na or someone you know, tulungan nyo sa demonstration kasi 35 yan. Tapos yung NCOIS nila, 25. So, ano yan? 60 points, di ba? 60 points allocated lamang sa kanilang performance sa demonstration nila. And the rest, this is 40, 10-10 lang. Paano natin sila i-encourage na mag-bloom talaga, no? You teach them how to do the demonstration. So, this is the reason why I'm also teaching how to do their demonstration. So, meron tayong orientation dyan. I just want you to compare what are the highest numbers and what really matters. No? Next, so we can see here rubrics for computation of education and training and experience. And then we have here 30 points yung lahat yung education, training, and experience. No? Then based on qualifications. So the concept here is that what makes it different, diba? Kasi 10 yung education, 10 yung training, 10 yung experience. Those qualifications that are beyond, those which are beyond the exceeding the qualification standard shall be computed using the increment table and ETE rubrics. So we have explained this, diba, thoroughly in our last discussion. So only those qualifications that are relevant to the position to be filled shall be given points. So relevance is always the key, no, for ETE. But again, relevance includes does not necessarily mean that it is vertically aligned. Okay, so that is what is shared in the frequently asked questions. So as long as it's related to education, somehow it can help him, then it's relevant. So again, the increments table will help you determine your points. So for example, you have for teacher 1 position, ano ba yung kailangan, di ba? Bachelor's degree. Wala namang units na required, di ba? So bachelor's degree lang kailangan. Now, the only requirement is bachelor's degree ka. So, let's try to zoom. 6. Tapos, you finish your master's. So, yung grade natin is 21 dito. Hindi pa to grade, sorry. So, 21 yung increment level natin. Actual, kasi master's degree holder ka. As evidenced by your tinatawag natin TOR. But what is required in teacher 1 position is bachelor's degree. So, you subtract 21 minus 6. So, pag nasubtract na natin ang 21 minus 6, that is equivalent to 15. Diba? So, 21 minus 6 is 15. Tingnan mo dito, ano yung increments from minimum. So, ilang increments siya? 15. So, 10 or more increments, sabi dito, automatic 10 points yan. So, the thing is, kahit meron ka lang 10 na increments, automatic ka na, you will be able to get the full points kasi 10 lang yung perfect score. So the same concept will be applied for training. So for training, if you look at meron din hours dito, merong table provided in DepEd order. Yung requirement is at least 16 hours lang of training. So, 3 ka. Tapos, yung ginawa mo, nag-training ka, masyadong mataas yung training mo, kumuha ka ng 40 hours. So, 2 minus 6, okay, is 4. So, yung 4, hanapin mo dito, 4 increments is equal to 4 points. So, 4 points lang ang makukuha mo. So, this is how we compute, and then you also apply it to experience. So, what we usually do is that we assign members of the HRM PSB, and our teacher applicants line up, and we will try to compute it together publicly so that they will know their exact points available to the public. That's the essence of the open ranking system. How about your PPST based performance? So the same concept, we get the percentage or the fractional form or the decimal form of the rating. So usually the highest score is 5. So let's say for example 4.5 divided by 5, and then multiply it with the weight allocation. This is 30. So, 4.5 divided by 5 times 30. So, ano yung sagot? That will be your points for your PPST-based performance. So, it's really very big, no? Especially for promotion. And our favorite is yung PPST COIS Actual Classroom Observation. Yung PPST Classroom Observable Indicators or COIS are the ones that which we rate, no, our teachers, and it's worth 25 points. Meron ding INCOI measured by the assessment of portfolio annotations, which the teachers will actually do live. So let's go to demonstration kasi ito yung isa sa pinakamalaking points. But remember, the highest points for promotion is really the PPST based performance. So looking at it, I can sense na mas mataas yung bearing ng grading ng principal, di ba? Kasi ito is pass. This is the pass, yung 30. Yung PPST COIS is yung actual na nagde-demonstrate nila during the ranking process. So at least, no, they allocated more trust to the immediate head or the principal kasi 30 binigay. So kasi it gets confusing. Some of them said, "Sir, head teacher ako. I am applying for example, head teacher 1 ako, sir. But I'm applying for wala naman akong COIS at saka NCOIS. So, are you going to disqualify the head teacher applying for teacher 7, for instance?" The answer is no. Diba? It says in the DepEd memorandum, DepEd order, that if the head teacher will apply for a teaching position such as teacher 7, you need to utilize comparable assessment that will demonstrate performance. And I think I mentioned it a while ago na very satisfactory lang yung kailangan. Yun yung gagamitin natin for grading. But ang tanong is, since wala siyang COIS and NCOIS for the PPST-based performance or minimum qualification standards, di ba? In determining whether they are qualified or not, what is required is very satisfactory lang sila. So, they qualify. Now, are they required to do classroom demonstration? Like, for the 25 points, I am referring to the 25 points. The answer is yes, they are required kasi they are applying for a teaching position. Teacher 7 is a teaching position. So, they will be required to do demonstration. Sometimes disturbing, no, to think that there were head teachers which were not allowed to apply for teacher 7 just because accordingly wala daw silang COIS at saka NCOIS. Okay, which is not correct. You should not do that. As those who will be given such decision, you have to assail that particular decision if your rights are trampled upon. But you are required to do. Okay, so let's look at the demonstration. Paano natin gagawin yung demonstration at saka anong mangyayari sa assessment of portfolio annotations. So again, meron tayong tinatawag na levels of practice. So if you are dealing with teachers from teacher 1 to 3, they are here at this level. Yung lowest nila is building, yung highest nila is consolidating or level 6. So I want to emphasize this one because yung standards kasi ng teacher 1 to 3, this is T1 to 3, yung pink ha, is lower as compared to teacher 4 to 7. So this one, yung organizing, lowest nila yan, integrating is level 7. Ito yung pinaka-highest na nila. So basically, if you look at this, mas higher po ang standard ng teacher 4 to 7. But for master teacher 1 to 2, which is highly proficient, this is already of higher level. Yung highest nila, in order for you to rate them outstanding, is discriminating. Okay? And then if you are distinguished, master teacher 3 to 5, then yung synthesizing yung highest mo. Kahit magaling na sila, tingnan mo, this is the second highest for teacher 1. But that is the lowest score for the master teacher 4 to 5. So, in short, when you demonstrate, when they demonstrate and you are the rater, you will apply a different standard for master teachers, and you will also apply a different standard when you are dealing with teacher 1 to 3. So I hope that's clear. Okay, so you will see this in our rubrics. I would like to encourage you to watch our previous videos, because you will see there the essence of the indicator. So far, we have issued and we have released achieving indicator 1 and indicator 2. So what is different from the actual classroom observation is that for classroom observation, usually there are 6 indicators. But for the demonstration, considering na it is something na you have to do in public, there are only 5 indicators that you have to meet. And there are different for each, like for T2, for T3, for T4, iba, diba? As you can see, iba-iba po yung mga indicators nila. So there are particular indicators that you have to master, no, and understand. Okay? So pagkatapos ng kanilang demonstration, they will place all their scores here. It will be computed and the total is 100 points. So sabi dito, a copy of duly signed career position. So, di ba, comparative assessment result for expanded reclassification or career per position. So sabi dito per position na, iba for teacher 1, iba for teacher 2, 3, 4, and ganon. In which candidates are listed in no particular order using application codes and shall be posted in at least 3 conspicuous places. So 3 conspicuous places concerned for a period of 10 days indicating the date of posting. So ano mangyayari? So the HR and PSB shall submit to the SDS the comparative assessment results, or it's called the career. It should be accompanied by the plantilla allocation list containing only the names of the candidates who can be accommodated based on the cutoff score. So there is a cutoff score already. Did you notice that for school heads, there is no cutoff score? But for teachers, there is a cutoff score of 50 per position as determined based on the following parameters. So meron kang available budget, allotment for the current fiscal year, priority position based on teacher needs. We have already discussed this. Okay? So it says here, the career for a particular position shall be valid until exhausted. So, kung meron kang candidates dyan na 100 and then yung 100 nalagpas sila ng 50 kasi yun yung cut-off score, we will not stop unless lahat ng yun is ma-exhausted. Maubos talaga. So, all remaining candidates in the career who meet the 50-point cutoff score but may not be accommodated for reclassification for the current fiscal year due to limited funding shall be prioritized for reclassification in the next fiscal year. So, in short, those remaining candidates na hindi na-accommodated for the current fiscal year shall be prioritized. So, let's say for example, kayo, di ba meron nag-submit na ngayon for batch 1? You said, sir, we are still waiting. What if lumabas na yung mga 4 item na? Then you are ranked. You were ranked, no? So, of course, those of higher rank will be given. We will exhaust until the 50 as long as you meet the 50-point cut-off score. You're already safe. That's why the question is, would that be given budget allocation in the General Appropriations Act? So let's pray na malaki yung ibibigay. Bigger allocation for the ECP because they will really exhaust the list. And they shall be considered in the queue and shall not be required to undergo the assessment process. So if you are already included there, hindi na po kailangan na you will undergo the assessment process again. Okay, it will be there and it will remain in effect until exhausted. So the reclassification of their position shall be processed before all other new applicants can be reclassified. So una talaga kayo if you have already applied in batch 1. Okay, as long as you met the 50-point cut-off score. Alright, so here, new reclassification process. So of course, we start with the applicant submits the application, And then the DepEd SDO evaluates the applications and prepares the career. Okay, and then the DepEd SDO submits all the applications and other documents to the regional office. Okay, and then the regional office again validates and approves all the documents. So there are requirements there. In fact, I noticed that most of them had to do it there was a validation for almost 2 weeks of the HRMO. So the DepEd RO transmits the approved and other required documents to the DBM. So this is where meron ng mga justification, etc. Okay? And then after that, si DBM gagawa po siya ng, so your stage, yung mga nag-apply, nandito na po tayo. So ilang steps na lang for you to get your appointment. So the DBM processes and prepares the NOSCA. NOSCA lang yung kailangan ng DBM and issue the same through Action Document Releasing System, ADRS. And then it will come back to us so that we will prepare your appointment. So good luck po sa nag-submit, ha. We are looking forward and we are praying for your promotion. So nandito na po tayo sa level na to. Submit na po and here. So si DBM na lang. So i-pray natin sa DBM that they will release already the approved NOSCA. Okay? So that is the end, no, for the whole process. Okay, so punta tayo sa either fact or myth, no. Ang mga non-teacher applicants like the HTs, TICs, ASPs for reclassification ay maaring magpa-reclassify to teaching or master teacher position kahit hindi sila gumagamit ng PPST-based IPCRF of the teachers. Fact or myth? So the answer is that is true, no? That is fact. Yan yung sabi ko kanina. There were HTs, yung mga TICs, hindi naman sila nagtuturo, di ba? Yung TIC are given no load, di ba? They have to perform the work of a teacher. I mean of a principal, even if they are not given that salary. So the answer is it's a fact, no? So non-teacher applicants for reclass who are not using the existing PPST-based IPCRF of teachers shall be evaluated using comparable performance requirements. So CPR ang gagawin. Comparable performance requirements. That's why they are not required to submit their COIS and NCOIS, yung 37 COIS and NCOIS, at i-meet yung performance requirement. So, sana ganito na lang, no? Lahat, puro na lang ganito para wala nang issue. Kasi, di ba, as I mentioned, I don't really agree with how performance requirements are being added to the qualification standards. For me, it is a, we call that an ultra vires act. No? It went beyond their responsibility to do that. But maybe they have a reason as to why they are putting up performance requirements, and maybe someday they will revoke this portion. No? So, maybe just to raise awareness na you're making it a little bit complicated for those na, kasi there were some of us na were thinking that what has bearing is the final rating lang of our IPCRF, diba? How many of you were thinking of that? Na you were thinking na it doesn't matter whether we had unsatisfactory rating on a particular objective. So, you know, this is something na hopefully will be removed na lang to avoid the confusion. At the fact alone na yung total is very satisfactory, I think the teacher deserves promotion. Okay? Next is ang mga applicants. By the way, the one I mentioned a while ago is only based on my personal opinion. So, but still, no, if we don't like the DepEd order, still we are obliged to implement it. Next, no, ang mga applicants na hindi nakakapag-submit ng means of verification or MOVs para sa kahit anong inkoy ay ma-exclude sa pool of candidates. Oh, ito yung sinabi ko kanina. So, kung wala kang MOV na nasubmit para sa kahit anong inkoy, 'di ba? Merong portfolio, sabi doon, it's L. And if you notice that L there in the requirements is optional. It's not required. So, 'di ba, sabi dito myth ito Kasi applicants who fail to submit MOVs for inquiries will only get a rating of 0 for the portfolio assessment component for particular inquiry na walang MOVs without precluding the applicant to undergo the behavioral events interview. So the candidate will not be excluded. Instead, they will only get 0 for those na hindi nila nakasubmit ng MOVs. But take note, it's not a portfolio. Kasi yung portfolio kasi, the whole thing, like, meron kang nasubmit na ganito, na merong mga mukha mo dyan, and it's a combination, and it's already well-designed, ganon yung portfolio. But the MOVs here are actually just lesson plan, yung mga minutes of the meeting, etc. Yun lang. Okay? So, they will only be rated 0 for that particular indicator, but not the whole thing. Okay? So, watch out for this because we're going to share how our teachers should do their demonstration. So, in our channel, Facebook, Learning with Doc Levs, we will discuss this para matulungan naman yung magde-demonstrate because we wanted to help them with that. Okay? So, and also how to fill up your inquiry so that you'll be able to know how to particularly use your MOVs there and annotate it properly. The act of annotation is very important. That is what is measured there. Okay? And what particular MOVs are you going to use? Alright. So, lahat ng remaining candidates sa career na umaabot ng 50-point cut-off score pero hindi ma-accommodate for reclassification ngayong fiscal year dahil sa limited funding ay required na sumailalim muli sa assessment next year. Fact or myth? Okay, the answer is it's a myth. The statement is false. The remaining candidates shall be prioritized for reclassification in the next fiscal year. They shall be considered in the queue. No? So, in the queue, meaning you will be next. You shall not be required to undergo the assessment process. As long as there will be a budget allocation for this, DBM, sa kanila yung pera, they know the budget, so they will allocate money for that particular position. So the reclassification of their position shall be processed before all other new applicants can be reclassified. So before yung succeeding ibibigay, like for batch 2, we need to exhaust those who qualified for batch 1. Kasi there's no other competition here. 'Di ba? Ang competition lang natin talaga is us meeting the requirements. Yung pag-ranking natin is just a matter of priority. Sino yung unang mabibigyan. But lahat kayo, as long as you are qualified, you are already considered qualified for that position. So it's just a matter of time po na bibigyan kayo ng item kasi yung budget natin is very limited. So is completion of 3 performance rating periods required before applying for higher teaching position? Okay, the answer is it depends on the position being applied for. No, for example, the 3 performance rating periods shall only be required for entry positions of the career stage, like for T4, MT1, and MT3, which requires meeting all 37 indicators. However, if the teacher intends to apply to positions within the same career stage, like for example, teacher 2, diba? Teacher 3. So, 1 to 3 rating periods may be accepted provided the teacher meets the specific indicators required for the position. So, ito yung tanong kasi they said na even if you're applying for teacher 2, kailangan ba na meron akong 3 performance rating? Imagine, ang kailangan mo lang maging teacher 2 is that naging teacher ka for 1 year. So, paano ka mag-a-attach ng 3 performance rating na you were only 2 years in that particular position? So, you were only one year ka pa lang, di ba? So, it's illogical. So, what is required for teacher 2? If you revisit teacher 2, what is only required for teacher 2 is this. No, ito lang. At least 6 proficient COIs at very satisfactory at tapos 4 proficient in COIs. And then, if you look at the qualification standards here for teacher 2, what is required is meron kang 1 year teaching experience. So, 1 performance cycle will do. Okay, so I hope that's clear, no? Can a classroom observable indicator or non classroom observable rating that is higher than the required performance level for position applied for stated in Section 14 DO 24 Series of 2025 be considered as meeting the minimum rating requirement higher than the required performance level for the position applied for? Would that be considered meeting the minimum? For example, what is required is 4 satisfactory, but you have already 4 outstanding. Do you consider that as meeting the minimum requirement? Of course, no. The answer is yes. A rating higher than the required performance level is considered to have met the requirement and therefore shall be counted towards fulfilling the prescribed number of indicators. I hope that's clear, diba? Okay. If what is required is 4 na satisfactory, pero yung nangyari sa iyo is 2 yung outstanding mo, tapos meron kang 2 na na VS. Sorry, VS What is required is 4 na very satisfactory. But what you have there is that you have 2 outstanding and another 2 which is very satisfactory. So, would that be deemed meeting the requirements? The answer is yes. Kasi yung 2 outstanding mo exceeded the minimum rating requirement. Remember, it is minimum. So, you can always go for something higher than the minimum. Okay? So, I hope that's clear. No? Next, are teachers on official leave, maternity leave, scholarship, training grant, or other CSE authorized leave allowed to apply for promotion? And how can they meet the performance requirements? In such cases, the applicable performance rating to be used for purposes for satisfying the performance requirements shall be based on the most 3 rating periods reckoned from the last rating period to the leave of absence. So, titingnan, nag-leave siya ng ganitong time. So, work backwards ka na lang. So, that's the easiest way to understand it. Work backwards na lang. Okay? So, I think that concludes our discussion. And I hope you will help your teachers get promoted.